Hello and welcome back to this inner movement series. Today is part 4 and we're working on diaphragmatic breathing to improve digestive health. In this short video, all you're going to need is a soft reflex ball. We're going to focus on releasing the diaphragm, our main muscle of respiration, to help us take the focus away from that fight and flight response into the rest and digest response, so that we can stimulate all the organs and the muscles that are attached to the diaphragm, so we can get better movement around this area and get better digestive health. So let's start in a supine position and just test where your breathing is at. Bring your hands onto your rib cage. Slowly breathe in through the nose for 4 counts. We want to work on more of a horizontal breath rather than a belly breath. So feel the rib cage moving into your hands horizontally. Then as you exhale through the nose, you're going to feel the rib cage dropping. Let's breathe in again. So as you open up into that breath, this is your eccentric contraction. So you're moving into that horizontal breath, lengthening the muscles, the intercostal muscles between the rib cage. And then as you exhale, try exhale for 4, if not longer, counts. Exhale, exhale, almost using your hands to help expel the breath from your lungs. My spine is in a neutral position, so just focusing on the breathing. Continue to breathe in and then exhale. Nice, slow, steady breath. Not a sudden, quick breath, but a slow inhalation. Try and lengthen it out. Draw it out as long as you can. And then exhale. So we want to try and take our focus off the upper respiratory muscles, like I said, and bring it onto the diaphragm. So for that, you're going to need the reflex ball, and we're going to start by releasing the colon. So along the right side is your ascending colon. From the right rib cage to the left rib cage is your transverse colon. From the rib cage to the left hip bone is your descending colon. So you can lengthen the legs out or bend the knees if you're taking any strain in the lower back. You can work directly onto the skin. So bring the ball inside the right hip bone and little circular motions. You're slowly moving up to the right rib cage and across. As well as releasing the colon, this is also releasing the diaphragm. Now you're working down towards the left hip bone. Little circular motions again, down we go to the hip bone. When you reach that hip bone, you're going to move the ball back over to the right side and massage along the inside of that rib cage, across to the left side and down the left side. Let's repeat this 2 more times. Little circular motions, and across and down. If you feel any tension anywhere, any strain, work on that area a little bit longer. Just focus on that area, getting a little bit deeper into the release, and move it across and down when you're ready. Okay, taking the ball, bring the ball onto the sternum and just move up and down the sternum. Move the ball from side to side. If you suffer with reflux or acid indigestion, it could be because you're in that sympathetic state, in that fight and flight response. You want to bring yourself out of that into your rest and digest or parasympathetic state. That sympathetic and parasympathetic together make up the autonomic nervous system. So we're looking at all kinds of neural pathways that you want to just release and take and bring yourself back into a calmer state. Let's put the ball to the side. Bend your knees again. Keep your spine in a neutral position to start. If you need to support your head, bring your hands underneath your head. And as you breathe in, again, you can bring the hands onto the rib cage if you want to, and you can exhale there. And use the heels of the hands just to gently feel the exhalation. Keep exhaling, and I want you to run the feet now. So you're just adding a little bit of a deeper contraction into this. So you're still exhaling. Then release the feet one at a time. And repeat the inhalation. And exhale. And run the feet. This is optional. If you're taking any strain in the lower back, you can release one foot before lifting the other one, or just keep both feet on the mat. You're still activating the core muscles. Let's do 2 more. Breathing in and exhale. Run the feet or alternate and keep exhaling. And then when everything is out, all that breath in the lungs, then slowly, slowly breathe in and exhale and run the feet. If you feel tension, if you're feeling there's a restriction somewhere when you're doing that inhalation and that exhalation, then I want you to take the ball. Say for instance, I've got tension here on my left rib, on the left side of my spine. I'm going to position the ball there, and I'm just going to keep my feet on the mat, breathing in. And as I exhale, I'm going to push into the ball. And if you want to, you can always lift the feet if you're not taking any strain, and then release the feet and breathe in again. But in order to identify where you're feeling tension that needs attention, or where you're feeling tension that needs to be released, you need to get into these positions and feel where those muscles are expanding and contracting, and then identify the tension. And with the use of the reflex ball or even your hands, you can just massage that tension away and breathe into it. So if you do have tension in the neck and the shoulders, let's bring the ball onto the hands. You're going to link the fingers, and then you're going to bring the ball onto the occiput ridge at the base of the skull in line with your earlobes, and just roll the ball from one side to the other. If your hair is getting in the way, just use one hand to move the hair out the way and rest the ball on the other palm and massage along the occiput ridge at the base of the skull. Release the ball and just hug the knees into the chest. And let's bring the feet flat onto the mat again. Bring the hands onto the rib cage. Hopefully by now you're going to feel that you've released some of the tension in those areas. And let's breathe into the hands, horizontal breath, then exhale. And lift the feet if you can. Run the feet, getting deeper into that contraction. More of an exhalation and release. Do another 3, breathing in and exhale. 2 to go. Breathing in and exhale. Your last one. And exhale. All this time your spine is in a neutral position and you're now trying to exhale for a little bit longer. We're going to continue with the breathing. This time you're going to rock onto one side, rest your head in your or on your arm, and just bring your hand onto your top rib cage. Rest your elbow, relax your elbow, breathe in. So keep the spine in a neutral position and exhale. Keep exhaling. From this position, you should feel the rib cage dropping, 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 those muscles contracting, 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 right down inside the hip bones. And breathe in. And exhale. Breathing in. And exhale. One more in this position, breathing in. And exhale. Bring yourself around onto your hands and knees. And continuing with the breathing, we're just going to challenge ourselves a little bit. Hands or elbows on the mat if you're taking any strain in the wrists, and breathing in. Now as I exhale, I'm going to tuck from the tailbone, I'm going to round my spine, and I'm going to lift my knees up off the mat and bounce into this position, getting deeper into that exhalation, into that contraction. If you do have that reflex ball, bring it between your knees and squeeze the ball as you come into that lifted position. If you're taking strain in the wrists or the elbows, or this position is too much for you, that you find your back arching as you lift, you want to avoid that. You want to stay in this rounded position as you lift. If you find that this is happening, then don't lift the knees off the mat. And let's breathe in. Now you can arch in this position. The knees are on the mat. I'm opening up to my inhalation. As I squeeze the ball, I start to tuck and round the spine, pushing into the hands, and then dropping my chin to my chest, squeezing the ball and lifting the knees into that bounce. And exhale for as long as you can. When you slowly need to release, come down onto the mat and then open yourself up, creating space that you can breathe into. Exhale, squeeze the ball and exhale, pushing into the hands, the heels of the hands or the elbows to help you come into more of a rounded position, and use the head as much as you can. Let's finish off with 2 more. Breathing in and exhale. For your last one, and exhale. And please continue working into the other side and just focusing on that breathing. This should really help you feel the core temperature rising as you activate those core muscles around the diaphragm, getting movement, getting circulation, and improving that digestion. And remember, movement is key. If you don't use it, well, you lose it.